All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Mr. K Tutorials. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a postcard, really cool looking postcard based off of, whatever favorite vacation spot that you like to go to. All right, right now, when I'm filming this video, it's the middle of February, it's pretty cold, a lot of snow, so I like to imagine, somewhere warmer, a lot of sun, and very high temperatures. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. So first, you need to make sure you have your images downloaded. All right, I already have mine. If you're Google searching on Google Images, then you have to make sure you click on the Tools option and make sure that you click on the size and make them large. If you don't do that, then your image can be small, and then it's going to look very pixelated and very bad. So I guess I could, maybe show you. So if I go to Google Images, all right, Google Images right here, and then Tools right there, and then size, and they need to be large. If they're not large, they will be pixelated and will not look good. Okay, so I'm going to open my file. All right, I chose Hawaii because why not? Somewhere I think I'd like to go at some point in my life. All right. And so this isn't an overly difficult project to do, and it is very easy to make it look very good. All right. So the first thing you have to do is create a new layer. Okay. In this layer, I'm going to make a rectangle. I'm going to click right here on my rectangle tool right here. All right. Up here, I'm going to change the color. You could do pretty much any color you want. I'm going to go with this. Yeah, I'm going to go with this blue. Kind of sky blue, cyan looking color. I'm going to make a rectangle that covers the entire picture. All right. Then I'm going to create a text box, right? And it's going to be a pretty big text box because I need it to be. Right? I'm going to make it stretch all the way across. And now the font size is going to have to be pretty big. I'm going to start with 600 and see if that will be too big. All right. So the vacation spot that I'd like to go to is Hawaii. Now, here really quickly, pro tip, okay? You may think you know how to spell a word, but just type it into Google. Did I spell it correctly? Yes, I did. But now I know for a fact that's how you spell it, right? You don't want to make a really nice postcard and then everything looks fantastic except you spelled the word wrong, right? You don't want to spell the word wrong. I would, automatically make it an awful, awful postcard. Right, so 600 is too big. I'm going to go down and maybe try 400. How does that sound? Yeah, that looks about right. Now I'm going to change my font. All right, so I click on the down arrow up there. I'm going to try to choose a font. Now, when you're choosing a font for this assignment, you don't want to go with something crazy fancy like this Dearest outline. And you want it to be very bold. Okay, you need it to be bold. All right, I'm going to go here with Damien. And of course, that's also going to kind of change the size of it. So you can then, play around with it more. Maybe I'm going to go to 500. See how that is. Here we go. All right, so there's Hawaii. All right. And now what I need to do, okay, is I need to cut out these letters, okay? And this is not overly difficult, okay? I'm going to make sure now, what I do now is I click on my blue layer. Actually, is this big enough? Oh, the wrong thing there. I'm actually second guessing myself here. I'm going to make this I'm gonna see if I can actually fit 600 on here. Yeah, I can do it. All right, so you want whatever the place, the vacation spot is, you want it to be as big as humanly possible, right? So here we go. Click on my layer, my background rectangle, okay? Then I'm going to grab my magnetic lasso tool, all right? And you can use the magnetic lasso tool for this because you have two very different colors. I have this cyan color and I have this black color. And they're very, very different. You know, one's dark, the black one, and then the cyan one is very bright. So now I'm just tracing around. I'm using the magnetic lasso tool, so I need to do very little work here. Work smarter, not harder when you can help it. And so I'm just going around using the magnetic lasso tool around the outside. And notice the software is doing all the work. I clicked once, and now I'm just very slowly and carefully dragging my mouse around. I don't have my mouse clicked. I clicked once at the very beginning, and I'm going to click once here at the end. I need to make sure it's a complete loop. And there we go. That is a complete loop. Now I'm going to hit delete or backspace on my keyboard. It says layer is not editable. So what do I do then? Okay, what I do is I go to layer 1, right click on it, and hit rasterize. Now when I hit delete, it's supposed to delete. Oh, and it did delete, right? But however, I cannot see that it deleted, right? So in order for me to see it, what I have to do is I have to hide the text layer. And look at that. It did delete. So you're going to be doing this for all the letters of your vacation spot. And every time you do it, you're going to think that it did not delete because the text is still there. But the text is still there because I'm not on the text layer. I have this text layer here just to contrast with the rectangular background color so that I can use the magnetic lasso tool and it can make my life a heck of a lot easier. Right? So I can imagine a lot of people are going to be doing this project and you'll think, oh no, it's not deleting, but really it is. Right? If you're thinking ahead and you're using your 2020 brain, even though it's 2021, you can see I'm going to have a problem here in a little bit because I have the letter A. Right? So I'm going to hit delete. You can see I lost the inside of my A. And that's going to be okay. Because I'm just going to well, I'm going to get to that later, actually. I'm going to finish this up and do the dots above the I. Deselect. Delete, and then I have to hit deselect. All right. Now I have the word Hawaii done. Right. But it doesn't exactly look the best because of my A's, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the text Hawaii. If you have this problem, you can solve it like this. I'm just going to move it up to where I have a blue background again. I'm going to do the inside of the letter A. All right. I'm going to do the inside. Come on, work with me here. Of the letter A. I'm going to go up to edit, copy. Okay. And then edit, paste. All right, and it gave it its own layer, and that's okay. Right, so I'm going to get rid of the word Hawaii, the layer that said Hawaii. I'm going to be on my layer 2, and now I'm going to lock these other layers for now. And I'm just looking for that little, yeah, there we go. I drag it down there. I'm going to duplicate that. Because I duplicated it, it will be in the exact same spot. So I'm going to move it over to here. Hawaii. Right? This isn't enough for the postcard. What I need to do now is I need to add more text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the text tool again. I'm going to come up to the top. I do not want it to be 600. I want it to be much smaller. I'm going to go with 150. I'm going to start typing. Greetings from. Right, now I can also see, I can make this text bigger. Let's try 300. I don't want it that big. I don't want it to compete with the word Hawaii. I want Hawaii to be the big word there. So I'm going to go with 200. I'm going to center it. All right, and then I'm going to do this over again. You have to zoom in a bit. All right, so I'm going to go to my layer 1. I'm going to unlock it. Right, going to get my magnetic lasso. If you've been following along with the different projects and videos, you've used the magnetic lasso. You've used multiple lassos. So this project, it's not really teaching you anything new, right? But it's just improving your skills and showing you a different type of thing that you can do on Photopea or even Photoshop using these skills, right? So I have the G outline. I'm going to hit delete. Notice, again, it doesn't go away, but I know that it did on layer 1, and the black G there is just because I have the text layer still there. If I get rid of that, I can see that it is gone, right? So now I deselect. There's a bunch of ways you could deselect. I like Control D. It's just the easiest. I love keyboard shortcuts. They make my life so much easier. All right. And you can see I have 2 E's here, so I'm going to have a very similar situation as the A's. I also have a G. G is going to be similar to the E's and to the A's. And one thing here that wouldn't normally be a problem, I have the space in between the T and the I. So I have a lot of things that I have to fix up. That's all because I chose this font. You can really choose whatever font you want. I do like this font. I think it's a nice font for a greeting card, for a postcard. So occasionally the magnetic lasso doesn't go the way I want it, so I just give it a click on an anchor to create an anchor point, and then I have to, right there, make sure that I create a full loop. There we go. You can see in between the E's, between the T and the I, and between the G. Right? What I'm going to wait to fix those until I have this whole line done. So I also need to deselect, so I'm going to hold Control and press D. Going around the word from. Delete and deselect the rest of the word. You see I have an O in this word, so I will have to also fix that later on. All right, I'm almost done here. All right, hit delete there, right? If you remember from last time, what I did was I went on the text layer, I use my move tool, I move it down. All right, I'm gonna zoom back in, make sure to deselect, right? Going to grab my magnetic lasso again, go back to layer 1, around the O. I'm gonna hold Control, press X. Oh, nope, I do not want to do that. I'm gonna undo that. I don't want to cut it, I want to copy it. So Control C and Control V, that puts it on its own layer, right? So if I lock layer 1 for a second, click on layer 3, there we go. All right, go back to layer 1, unlock it, grab my magnetic lasso, go around the inside of the G. Here we go. Copy and paste. And move it into place. Right, make sure I click back on my layer 1. Grab my magnetic lasso. Go around the inside here. Copy and paste. And move it into place. Grab my magnetic lasso again. Go around the inside of the E. Copy and, nope, I'm on the wrong layer. Copy and paste. Move it into place. And then because I have another E, I'm just going to duplicate that. I'm going to delete my, I'm not going to delete my text layer. I realized I forgot to do something right now. I forgot to dot my I. Got to make sure T's are crossed, your I's are dotted. Go around the dot. I'm going to delete that. Deselect. I'm going to go up to my text layer. I'm going to delete that. Now, if you're looking at this, yeah, I have a lot of layers. You might have a lot of layers as well. That's okay. Right? There it is. Now, you can't really move it, right? It's not really movable, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a rectangle. Fill is going to be none. Stroke is going to be black. Okay. Then I'm going to put it right here. I'm gonna make the stroke a heck of a lot bigger. Okay, right there is good. That's for mine, 62. It all depends on the look of your postcard, right? The size of the words, the thickness of the words, the letters. So now I'm going to do this again, but this time instead of the stroke being black, I'm going to go back to my cyan. It just changed one that I wanted. So I'm going to have to click away, lock first, and then create a new one. Ah, no. All right, so what I am going to do, easy way to fix this, just create a new layer. Put yourself on a new layer. Then I'm going to make my rectangle look like this. Okay, I don't want that to be 62. All right, that's 9.5. All right, and that's what it looks like. It gives it a nice border. I like the it's the same color as the background. So you have the background, you have the black border, but then you have go back to the background. I think that gives it a very nice kind of classic look. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top layer. I'm going to place, open in place, file, open in place, an image that kind of makes this look more Hawaiian, more tropical, right? Makes this postcard look like it's possibly actually from Hawaii. There's one there. I'm going to do the same thing again. This time I'm going to hold shift and rotate it around. Put it up in this corner. Right? There we go. Very nice looking postcard from Hawaii. On the back side, that's where you write your message. Wish you were here. We're having a blast, thinking of you, whatever, But right here, this is how you create your postcard.